completely embarrassing. I had no idea that you would catch me doing that. Okay. Full confession, I am pretty nervous. I know my friends have told me a lot about you, and I've been really excited to meet you, but it's been a long time since I've been on a first date, and this is my first time ever being on a blind date. And I got trust issues, so this is pretty bold of me to do, if I may say so myself. Sorry, I'm really a rambler, especially when I'm nervous, and you're really cute, so yeah, I guess it's a good thing they didn't show me pictures in advance, because I definitely would have been way more nervous than I already was getting ready, so it's probably for the best. Yeah, let's get to know each other. Yes, any questions that you have. Just a little bit about me, some fun facts. Okay, yeah, that's like really putting me on the spot there, but I guess I could do it. So first, I'm 25 years old. Yeah, so we're around the same age, pretty cool. And although honestly to me, like, age isn't the most important thing, so that's why, like, I could even be set up on a blind date. To me, like, it's not the most important thing about a person. Doesn't mean like I'm gonna do any jailbait or anything, like I have morals, but I don't think that age is always the defining factor of a person. I think that it's more about your maturity levels, and if your maturity levels match, because listen, I've met some 25-year-olds that put me to shame. I'm like, I hope other people don't think that that's what I'm like, because they are just very immature. But I've also met some 25-year-olds and I'm like, you have lived through some shit, have you not? Because you're different, babes. You're different. You're just like very mature and got your shit together in a way that I cannot imagine. Like, I feel like 25 and just like your 20s in general and your 30s is a weird time, because I think it's the period in your life where everyone's the most on different paths. Like it's not set in stone. It really is like the game of life, and you get very random cards. It seems like, some you don't predict. Like, you just stop and think about your own high school friends, and like, or just people you knew from high school, and like where they are right now. Did you expect all of those to end up that way? I sure did not. Some people are married and have kids. Some people are on like their third kid. I'm thinking about how my parents were on their third kid at this age and had like a full business, a family-run business, like that they created from the ground up, moved to a new country where they didn't know the language. Like, what? And here I am, silly little me, not even able to find love, that my friends have to send me up on a blind date. That's where I'm at in my life. So it's give and take. Oops. I'm a bit clumsy. Sorry. That is something that you will inevitably learn about me, because I can't help but be honest about it. I'm just trying my best. That's what my 20s is trying my best every single day. And sometimes I wake up and I do my silly little self-care tasks, or at least they seem silly to other people, and then other days I wake up and all I can do is sit in my bed. Sometimes you give in. Am I revealing too much on a first date? I feel like that's kind of how I certify that I do not get a second one. I'm like spilling my guts. There's something about you. You definitely have like a very trusting aura. I feel like even though I just met you, I feel like I can trust you with information like that. And even if we don't have a second date, which is like totally fine, I know that anything I say to you will be safe. And that's a rare quality to have in a person. So that's pretty cool that you have that. It at least makes it, if no matter what happens, that we have a great first date because we can just talk. Yeah. I should leave a little bit of room for you to talk, but if you keep asking me these questions, I'm just gonna have to keep going. Kind of feel like I'm in an interview and I don't hate it. You're so attentive. Yeah, well, I guess if you're asking how I'm doing right now currently, wow, that's like such a loaded question. I feel like everybody asks other people how they're doing. It's such like a basic part of just being a person. And I guess it's like at least in America, a very social tradition. It's like, hi, how are you? Which is interesting to me. I wonder if that's the same in Dominican culture. I really don't know. I feel like there's a lot about my own culture that I don't know that much, which is like sometimes makes me sad. I wish I was more in touch with it, but I feel like growing up I wasn't as much in touch with it because I lived in a culture that was different. I grew up here in America, but I'm Dominican. My parents are both Dominicans and they immigrated here around my age in their 20s. And my dad came here first. He started a business from nothing because he came with nothing, and he just like worked really hard and saved up and opened his business, and eventually was able to have my mom come, and my sister was born in Boston. And then, they traveled back and forth between DR and the US a lot. I mean, after they were able to, of course, because you have to obtain citizenship first before you can leave. And that, sorry, I did bring my like bulky big water bottle on a first date because like I wasn't sure if I would have water around. And like how water all has different tastes. Like people can say that water doesn't have different tastes, but water has different tastes. And sometimes you just prefer like your type of water, and I just didn't want to risk it. Yeah, me talking so much, I'm like, obviously I'm gonna need a drink of water. My newest thing lately has been drinking warm water. It's been doing wonders for me. I suffer from like just like chronic dry mouth because of allergies. It's so embarrassing. I'm like, yeah, I have asthma. I'm a nerd. I just feel like those things are always like lumped together. I'm like, can I help that I have asthma? No. Hot girls can have asthma too. What was I even saying? You see, you distracted me. Stop it. I completely lost track. I guess you're just gonna have to give me another question. That's a tough one. My favorite person in the world right now. That's like really hard to choose and kind of offensive to all the other people. I'm going to go around your question in a way because you actually didn't say person. I said person. I'm gonna say my bunny because she's the light of my life. Simply the sweetest little angel. Have you ever pet a bunny? Like, I just suggest that it be on everybody's bucket list to pet a bunny because they're the softest little creatures, and no, you should not be using their fur for yourself. That is disrespectful. It was meant for their little tiny bodies. Do you see how small they are? Like, can you imagine, like, anything made out of bunnies must have killed so many bunnies because they're so freaking small. So that's my little rant. I'm sorry if you like eat rabbits or something, or like I mean, I'm not sorry, but I'm just like, I'm sorry if that made you feel weird. Like, is that like too controversial an opinion to bring up on a first date? I don't know, but this is just who I am. And one thing you will quickly learn about me is that I cannot help but be myself. So, sorry, not sorry. It is kind of weird that we have to have our first date like this, virtual. But, I mean, it's just what we have to do these days. Yeah, but I don't mind it. You're nice to look at, so I'm gonna say it's enough for me for right now, and who knows where this will go. And, you know, just if anything, I'd love to always be able to talk to you because you're such a great listener. Yeah, I kind of feel like this is my own personal therapy session, so thanks for that. Doesn't feel very fair to you. You really like being a listener that much? I guess maybe because I'm a loud-mouthed extrovert, I cannot relate to that at all, but I see that that works for you. And I love that because that's how we balance the world. If there are people like you and there are people like me, then there'll always be someone for the other. The yin to my yang I've been confusing the two so much. Like, I've been really into Taoism lately and looking into it just because, like, I've needed something to anchor me in my life. And I haven't really had religion because I was raised Catholic and that just didn't jive with me. I honestly believe that if I was raised Christian, I probably still would be. Because I went to like a Christian church like twice in my life with my friend, my childhood friend. Shout out to Lindsay, Illy. When I went there, it was a great experience, and I felt like in that moment I understood why religion was important to people and how it could be such a beautiful thing that brings people together and can do so much good. And the lessons that they taught were like very relevant and like brought lines in the scripture that are like hard to understand and like brought them to modern day times. And like at the end of the day, it wasn't pushing any of the like anti anyone BS that people can sometimes take out of religion, and instead are just pushing the pro people, like pro happiness, pro joy, pro peace, like, and pro community. And because that's what it is. The religion is like people coming together for a common goal, common good, and following one thing. And no matter what the religion is, it's some form of light, you know, some form of hope. That's what religion is. And I'm a bit burned from the Catholic Church, so I don't know if I could ever like fully call myself like a religious person to like any specific religion, but I prefer philosophy in the sense of philosophy instead of theology versus philosophy. Like, philosophy allows me to look at all of the theologies of religions that exist and be like, oh, that was a great lesson from here, I'm gonna take that nugget. That was a great lesson from there, I'm gonna take that nugget. And being able to bring it all together to help me on my path to being a better person, because I feel like wow, that's how much you got me talking. You got me so excited. It's so hard to like stop talking when you have such a great listener and such a great conversationalist. I need that water. I'm telling you, it's the chronic dry mouth. Oh, it sucks because in the era of the vid, coughing makes you like enemy number one, or like sniffling or sneezing, and I'm like, some of us have asthma, and it's hard for me right now because my asthma is actually onset by cold weather. Yes, I am allergic to cold, and I live in the Northeast. kind of head empty of me, don't you think, to be living here? But I am originally from a warmer climate, so winter is new to me. And my people, like Dominicans, are not from the cold, so a bit harsh there. But I hope that you've learned some cool stuff about me that will help you, decide if you want to go on a second date or not. I am available if you want. Just let me know. Not to, is that like embarrassing, like putting my cards out on the table? But I do want to see you again, so let me know if that's something you'd like.